What's going on, guys? I hope you guys are having a good day. Take your time coming into the live stream. And I want to say hello. So 1 second, guys. We are about to get started in 1 second. So check out the music while we set everything up.
Hey guys, so I am live with Dr. Boyce Watkins, such an amazing gentleman, and I am passionate talking about business. So I just wanted to go live on Nana. So I'm glad to have breakfast this morning. Good morning. So you guys make sure that you log into YouTube, Dr. Boyce Watkins, or you can just stay here with me on the Nana Chicken and Waffles live. Happy Wednesday, everybody.
All right. Okay, so I hope you guys are doing well. It is so good to see you guys. Hey, Dr. Boyce, you stay on top of Black Wealth News. I appreciate you, Mia. Thank you so much for the kind words. Everybody, go ahead and get settled in and get comfortable because we're about to have a really great conversation. And also, do me a favor, guys. Please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe button. And also hit that notification bell so you'll get notified whenever we go live. I want to welcome you guys once again to drboycetv.com. This is the home for intelligent Black people. And so if you're not Black and intelligent, you may want to leave because this conversation is probably going to upset you. It's going to be above your pay grade. And we're trying to be smarter here. We're not trying to become bigger coons. We ain't having none of that today. And so today I have the privilege and the opportunity to introduce you to my special guest, Kelli, Kelli Ferrell. Kelli is an author. She is a great cook. She is a mom, and she is the CEO and co-founder of Nana's Chicken and Waffles. Now, you guys know back when we had the whole Popeyes debacle. Is anybody still thinking about that in terms of how we went crazy over Popeyes chicken? Well, let me tell you this. I've ate at Popeyes and I ate at Nana's Chicken and Waffles, and Popeyes can't compete. But you know how we do. We always do things with Black excellence. At least the excellent among us do. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome Miss Kelli to the podcast. How you doing today, sister?
I am good. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you.
Well, I'm very happy that you're here. And I I will tell you guys this. I also got to know Kelli and her husband Mark. They came to one of our investment summits that we had in Atlanta, and she told her story. And I was really impressed with her story. I was impressed with her book. Her book is called Cooking with Kelli. And I just really thought that she'd be a great guest that I can introduce, to the rest of you guys, because I think that she's and her husband are doing excellent work. So first and foremost, as you guys shout out your cities in the chat, shout out what city you're coming from. I'd like to ask Miss Kelli from the beginning. Let's start here. This is what stream of consciousness here. I was thinking about this thing with Popeyes. And some of y'all that follow me on Instagram, you saw that I was real pissed off about the Popeyes thing, not because I don't think we have the right to eat chicken, not because I don't think you can do what the hell you want to do with your money, but because, I think the day before the Popeyes thing popped off, I had eaten a Nana's Chicken and Waffles. And Nana's Chicken and Waffles just had some of the best food ever. And also, in addition to good food, I felt that I was treated well respected. There is a place full of Black people, just lots of good energy. And the brother from World Star Radio took me down. I can't. The name escaped. I gotta look his name up because I want to thank him.
Oh my God. What is his name?
I can't remember it. I'm gonna look it up on my phone, and we're gonna say his name because he needs.
I'll figure it out. I'll text Mark. But let me tell you something. He is absolutely amazing. He has been supporting us for so long. Such a great guy. Very genuine, humble guy too. Very genuine and humble. So shout out to World Star. He comes here all the time.
Well, he's a good brother, and it reminded me of just how much I really appreciate the specialness that we have in the South. You know, I just think that there's like a hospitality there.
John from World Star. How could I forget? I just
Thank
remember.
you.
Yes. Hey, John.
What's up, John? Good to see you.
Yes.
We can't forget you, man. We can't forget you.
Yes.
You know, yeah, and I was, you know, and I just love the hospitality. You know, it's like, I don't know if y'all are from the South. How many of y'all in the chat are from the South? If you're from the South, throw your hands up. But there's like a specialness in terms of the way people greet each other, the way Black folks in Atlanta, especially, you know, those of us, you know, who had our heads on straight, you know, connect extremely well. I felt like I was with family. Can you kind of speak to some of that? Like, are you from that area, or where are you from?
No, the crazy thing is I'm not. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but I've been here in Georgia since 2003. So I came to school here in Georgia. So, I mean, basically you can say I'm pretty much from the South. I mean, I'm still a Be More girl, of course. But that's probably one of the reasons too why I moved here. I love the Southern hospitality. I love how everyone's so kind, welcoming. You can walk into a place and people actually speak to you. They want to know how you're doing. Do you need assistance with anything? And for me, that's really kind of how I grew up, even in my household. And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to make sure that the restaurant had that feeling and that vibe of really that Southern comfort experience. We wanted Nana's Chicken and Waffles was made for you to feel like you are at your grandmother's house, because Nana is my grandmother. That's who we named the restaurant after. And the goal is for you to feel like you're at home. That's why we welcome you. Hey, welcome to Nana's. We want everyone to feel like they're in the comfort of their grandma's house.
Well, you know, it's funny because the kids in our house, these are my soon-to-be stepkids, but they're my kids.
Yeah.
You know how that rolls.
I know how that rolls.
Yes, and their grandmother's name is Nana. So I got a mother-in-law named Nana. I don't know if anybody else out here got a Nana, but it seems like everybody's got a Nana. Or my other grandmother that actually passed in Atlanta, and I went to her gravesite that weekend when I saw you guys. We called her Mama, and everybody knows about Mama because actually, if you see this panther behind me for the Black Business School, we named my grandmother's real name is Felicia, and so we named the panther Felicia. And that's how we pay tribute, to the ancestors. I named her after my grandmother. And immediately, once I made that decision to name our Black Business School Panther after my grandmother, I immediately felt my grandmother's presence. You know, I felt like she was there. Yeah, that's like she's looking over me. Yeah, it's very powerful. So is Nana still here? Is she still with us?
She is. So Nana is 80 years young. She's so amazing. She's so spunky. She's so sassy. She comes to the restaurant every now and then. So she loves to talk to the customers, and she's good. Nana's good. So I have Nana, and then I have my mom, Gigi. We call her Gigi. And then we have Mama and Mimi. So we got all types of grandma names going on. But Nana is like the matriarch of the family. She keeps us pretty much together. She's amazing. She is.
I love that. I love that. So let me ask you. So let's go to the beginning. And everybody, if you just came in, I want you all to know I'm speaking with Miss Kelli Ferrell. Kelli is an author. She's the co-founder of Nana's Chicken and Waffles in Atlanta. Her book is called Cooking with Kelli. Her website that's with a K.
Yes, Cooking with Kelli with a K.
Yeah, Cooking with Kelli, and Kelli spelled Kelli. In fact, her website is cookingwithkelli.com or nanaschickenandwaffles.com. So everybody, please hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button, hit the notification bell as well. And also, don't forget the All Black National Convention is coming up next week. So go ahead and get your passes at allblacknationalconvention.com. So let me dive in a little bit in terms of how you became a business owner. You know, you came to our investment summit, which I really appreciated. You stopped by. Yeah. And you told, the most remarkable story about, people telling you that you couldn't do it. People telling you like, oh, this is a bad idea, it's not going to work, etc. Can you kind of speak to that a little bit?
Yeah. So really how Nana's came about was a vision board. So my husband and I, we did a vision board a few years ago, and we put a lot of things on that vision board. We put quotes that we live by, scriptures that we live by. We put different businesses on there. We put vacations that we wanted to take. Of course, we put our family on there because, I have 5 beautiful girls. We put cars, everything that you could possibly envision your life to be. That's what we put on the vision board. And from there, a few months after us actually doing the vision board, we got Nana's Chicken and Waffles. Now, let's be clear, Nana, it was not easy. I never worked in a restaurant before, ever at all. So a lot of people don't know, but my degree is in fashion merchandising and design. I was actually a wedding and event planner successfully for 6 years before opening Nana's. So one thing that I always knew is that I had a passion for people. I love being around people. I love being able to talk to people and greet people and move with people. I could never sit in an office. That's just not me, right? I have to be involved in anything that it is that I'm doing. So did the vision board, and we lived in Conyers for some years, and my kids went to school not too far from here, and we used to always pass this establishment, and it's been so many different things. And the establishment finally became available. So Mark and I said, you know what, well, let's just try and see if it's available. I think this would be such a wonderful breakfast spot for Conyers, and it's something that we had on our board, and maybe we could bring it into fruition. So we met with the landlord, and we actually surprisingly got approved for the space, surprisingly, during that time. And we said, okay, well, we got the space, and here we go. I didn't know what the hell we were doing. Excuse my French. Had no clue.
So let me well, before you move on, I gotta ask.
Yes.
Why were you so surprised you got approved? It is okay.
I mean, we had no clue. We were winging the whole thing. Winging the whole damn thing. Okay, let's be clear. Winging the whole thing. Didn't know what we were doing. We knew we wanted to have a breakfast restaurant, but we didn't know anything about the business. I just had my twins. So my twins were probably just a few months old. I knew that I was kind of tired of the whole wedding and event planning thing. And I thought that it would be such a good idea. We'll close at 4:00. I'll have time for my children. Little did I know none of that would even matter at this point, because we're open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day at this point. We close at 4, but I'm always working. So I was thinking, during that time that it would make sense. So we got the space surprisingly, and started to work on the business. I had no clue. And I found that a lot of people did not want to help me open Nana's Chicken and Waffles. It was very hard, probably one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. And I hired some professionals who could tell me. And like I was telling the class when I was there with you guys, a lot of people were telling me, no, it's not going to work. No, you can't. You're going to close at 4:00. Oh my God, you're not going to make any money. Oh my God, you're just going to sell chicken and waffles. Who's going to eat there? It was so many. It was more no's before there was yeses. And it became very discouraging for a while, especially for someone who didn't really have the knowledge of the business. I've always been an entrepreneur, but I've never been a restaurant owner, and it's a difference. It's a different beast that you have to handle. So we met with this guy, and I was telling you about the guy who told me I had to make all of this money before I would even see a profit. And he was actually hired through one of our food companies, because with the food companies, what they do is they'll set you up with success partners who can help you succeed. And everything was no. Everything was no. And I don't know if it was no because I was a woman. I don't know if it was no because I was a Black woman. It was just no, and I had to take that no and turn that into all of my yeses. Yes, I'm going to do it. Yes, it's going to make sense. Yes, it's going to make me some money. And yes, I'm going to succeed. And that was the fuel that I needed to succeed. At the time, I didn't understand that. At the time, I just thought, what is the deal? Why is he telling me all these damn no's? Like, tell me how you can help me. But it was no help. So I found myself having to Google a lot. I had to YouTube a lot. I had to read a lot. I really had to educate myself on how to run this business. And I knew that I knew what I envisioned on that board, everything that I wanted Nana's Chicken and Waffles to be. So that wasn't the hard part. The hard part was getting the people in here to come and actually love our food. but that didn't take long at all.
All right. Well, everybody who's watching, I'm speaking with Miss Kelli Ferrell. Kelli is the author of the book Cooking with Kelli. Cooking with everything spelled with a K, and Kelli is spelled Kelli. She's the CEO and co-founder of Nana's Chicken and Waffles, which is down in Georgia in the Atlanta area, and the food is damn good. I know I loved it. Now, do me a favor, everybody who's in here. Please hit the thumbs up button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. And if you get what Kelli's talking about, if you're connecting with this, just throw a little amen in the chat. Throw an amen in the chat. Because I was telling Kelli, I said, you know, when we're in here, we're here to support each other and motivate each other and also learn from each other. So we have kind of school church, you know, because it's a spiritual journey as well as an intellectual journey, right? Because the reason I make that point, and you know, I think it's an important point, Kelli, is because I'm pretty educated, right? And you know, and the curse of education is that sometimes it can give you overconfidence and it can make you overconfident to the point where you lose confidence. Like meaning that you can think you know how things are going to turn out or think you don't have what you need. Look, well, I'm smart. Of course I know that this isn't going to work, right? So I'm not going to try it because I'm so smart and I've concluded that based on my analysis it isn't going to work, right? And then I pass that disease, you know, to you and to, you know what I mean? We pass that to each other, and that know-it-all-itis, if you want to call it that, when really there's the hidden element. There's what almost like in space where they have the dark energy. I don't know if you ever heard that, where they say in space 97% of all the energy in space can't even be observed or measured by any scientific energy instrument, but we know it's there, right? So to me, the dark energy, that's kind of the faith. That's kind of the, you know, the subconscious mind. That's kind of the instinct and intuition that leads you to say, I know everything is telling me I can't do this and I shouldn't try it, but something inside of me is telling me that it's okay and that I'm going to figure this out. And I love that because that energy, that dark and that melanin energy, let's call it that, right? That seems to be what guided you past all the no's to say, yeah, I know that you're all smart and you know this better than me and you're telling me no, but I don't believe you right now. I'm going to go ahead and jump in and try to find out. So let me ask you this. So in terms of your journey, what were some of the biggest hurdles? Like when you were, you know, first getting started. First of all, how long have you been in business? And then tell me about some of the hurdles that you experienced along the way.
So we opened the doors of Nana's Chicken and Waffles December 26, 2016, the day after Christmas. I was the craziest woman on earth. Definitely the craziest woman on earth. I don't know what
the day after Christmas. Holy crap.
I was determined to get open. Yeah, I was determined to get open. And we didn't tell anybody. We just turned the open sign on.
Wow.
Yeah.
And they just showed up. Like, how did the
people just started coming in. People just started coming in, and I'll never forget. I had this one customer, and it was a guy and his wife. And keep in mind, when we started off, it was just me, my husband, my uncle, who's my other business partner, and I think I hired like 2 or 3 servers, right? Oh, and I cannot forget Mr. Charles. So if everyone comes to Nana's Chicken and Waffles, you know who Mr. Charles is. We call him Sir Charles. He was my first employee I ever hired, and he believed in me, and he said, "I'm not going to leave you until you become successful." So now I just let him do whatever he wants. He just does. He's a greeter. He just, you know what? He keeps the energy going in here. We need him. We need Mr. Charles. So shout out to Mr. Charles. I love him.
Right. So the customers they just started coming in. First of all, how did it feel when that first, couple customers came in? Like were you kind of like, oh my God, it's working? Like, or
it felt really good. It felt really good. It felt really good. I had a few customers who loved it. I had a few customers who hated. And at that time, I had to learn how to deal with like customer complaints, right? Because I didn't know that the people weren't going to like the food, right? So when they don't like it, it's like, oh, why you don't like my food? But right. But you have to kind of get used to that because everybody's palate is not like your palate, and everybody didn't grow up how you grew up. So you have to respect people's palettes, and sometimes they'll like and sometimes they don't. And I had this one customer I'll never forget, and he came in, him and his wife, and they hated everything, right? I mean everything. And he called back and said, this was horrible, and your light fixture is falling down out front, and you have some things that you need to change in your business, and it's not going to work, and all of these things. And I actually went to the office and I cried. And my husband's like, you need to toughen your ass up, excuse my French, but it's going to be okay. Everybody, you're not going to be able to please everybody. And from there, I learned how I'm not going to be able to please everybody. But I needed that. So all of these things along that journey, all of these negative Nancy's and no's, right? I needed that to make me stronger. And I think to succeed to where we are now. So it was a lot. It was not easy trying to get everyone to be on the same accord as you when you talk about staff and employees, right? Because you have to train people. That's probably one of the hardest things, is training people to have the same work ethic as you. And that's one of the things that sometimes you can't train. So sometimes I would much rather hire a person based on their personalities than their actual credentials, right? Because it's not like you have to have a master's degree to work inside of a restaurant. At this point, you have to have a passion for people. You have to have a passion for food and what you're doing. And you have to be very patient, right? Because it's a fast-paced environment, and you can't teach people to have humility and certain things about them in order for them to work in Nana's, maybe another restaurant, but for here and our people, you have to have a wow factor about you to work at Nana's Chicken and Waffles. And they'll tell you it's I don't care if you have a master's degree, whatever degree it is that you're bringing to the table, how do you treat people? You know, what are your goals in life? If you don't have a goal, and most of my employees will tell you, I always ask them during the interview process, and I'm always included in the interview process, what are your 5-year goals? If you don't have 5-year goals, it's no need of you working here, because what are you working towards? You have to work towards something in life. You have to want more out of life. And it could either be to grow with our company or to grow your own company or whatever the case may be. But if you don't have goals, it's no need of you even being here or applying in Nana's Chicken and Waffles. You got to have some get up and go to yourself. You got to be a hustler, because I'm a hustler.
Yeah, well, I think everybody can tell that. I don't know. Can you guys tell that she's a hustler? Does she sound like a hustler to y'all? Yeah,
that be more coming out of me.
all the hustlers in the room, say something in the chat. Let everybody know that you are among good company. We got a lot of hustlers in here, and a couple of I take notes when I'm listening. You know, and someone's teaching, and you're teaching here, and a couple of thoughts that crossed my brain was one when you talked about the negative Nancy's. Our term that we use here is we call them Negro naysayers. But not that all negative Nancy's have to be black, but you got the Negro naysayers. You know, the Negro naysayers are the people that find a problem for every solution. Just negativity. And I coined that term because we've all got Negro naysayers in our family. We've all got those people. You know, we've all got those people in our family who will just do whatever they can to tell us why it's not going to work, and you're taking a big chance. And what they're doing is they're kind of setting themselves up in a situation where in finance we refer to this as like heads I win, tails you lose. Meaning that, look, let's say you go, so you got this person that maybe somebody you love who's telling you all day, oh, this isn't going to work. You don't have enough money. Like, what are you doing? This is crazy. You need to keep that good job at the post office or whatever. And so if you go off and succeed, they're gonna usually just remain quiet, right? They don't do anything. No, it doesn't risk. You're not risking anything by talking shit. Like when you're just talking shit, you're just being negative, and there's no consequence if you're wrong. But if you fail, which a lot of business owners fail,
right?
But good business owners fail. Like good entrepreneurs fail. But if you fail, they're waiting to say, "I told you so."
I told you so. I told you not to do it. I told you it wasn't a good idea. I told you didn't have any experience in the restaurant industry. But could you imagine if I would have listened to those people?
Exactly.
And what if I really would have listened to everyone who said that it wasn't going to work? What if I would have listened to the professionals who told me, you know what? No, the numbers are not right. It's not going to make sense. You cannot let that resonate in your soul. When God, let me tell you something, and I'm not a pastor or preacher or anything, right? But I feel like this: when God plants something inside of you, it is not, he plants it inside of you for a reason. And sometimes you're going to have all of these people who cannot see it, but he planted it inside of you for a reason. You have to prove those people wrong. That's something that you have between you and God. And then a Chicken and Waffles is something that I had between me and God. I promise you. Because if it wasn't, right? So I'm at this point where it's like all of these no's, all of these no's, all of these no's. But everything was happening in order. Everything was happening the way that it was supposed to be happening. Everything was in a timely fashion, in God's timing, right? In God's timing. So you can't listen to those no's. You can't let those no's resonate inside of you. You got to keep going, and you got to prove those people wrong. And sometimes, hey, it might be a failure. I've failed at business before. I've had a clothing store. I failed at business before, and it's okay to fail, right? You just got to go on to the next thing.
And if you're lucky, this won't be, if you're lucky, you haven't had your last failure, right? Like that's how I know that you're going and you're going to succeed and do extremely well, is that if you're consistently looking for new ways to possibly fail, that means you're taking new chances. You're taking more shots at the basket. And anybody that knows anything about, say, basketball knows that the player who scores the most points is usually the one who took the most shots. You got to take good shots, but even good shots sometimes don't go in. But if you keep doing that, you're going to have more points than everybody else. The other thing I wanted to talk about is your book. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick screen share. I did a little cyber searching, and I found an image of your book. It's called,
you did? Awesome.
Yes, I did. Right there.
Look at that.
Cooking with Kelli. It wasn't a perfect high res image, but
it's
you guys get the gist of it. And Cooking with Kelli is now. Let me ask you this: Is this your first book?
It is. It's my first cookbook. I was actually the first one in my family to ever write a book, so I was super excited. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's really good.
And I remember going through the book, and I actually have a copy. We have one somewhere in the house. Just so you know, Alicia, the woman I'm going to marry, is a hell of a cook. And I gave her, I said, I met this lady named Kelli Ferrell, and she's got this book called Cooking with Kelli. And I said, I know you love Aisha curry, so I think you're gonna like Kelli too. And her food is really good. So if I bring this cookbook home, would you like look at some of the recipes and try to cook? Because I can't cook for shit. Like if I cook the food in the house, everybody will be dead. Huh?
Not even an egg.
Not the egg. I can't cook nothing. I can
really?
I can heat up some oatmeal. So she told me, so her and the girls right now are literally going through your book and they're grabbing recipes.
I'm so glad.
Some of that stuff. Yes. So the book. So tell me about that experience of writing the book. What led you to write a book, and what's that been like for you?
Let's be clear. Writing a book was the hardest thing I've probably ever had to do besides open the restaurant. I'm not a writer, first of all. If you grew up in my household, or probably any Black household, you don't measure when you're cooking. You just do a splash of this, a sprinkle of that, little this and little that, right? So for me to have to measure everything out, put that on paper, do the timing, right? All the ingredients, right? Because sometimes you'll be like, you know what? No, I need this. No, that ain't right. No, this is not. Well, when it turns brown, it's ready, right? Or stick a fork in it and it's ready. So for me, that was the hardest thing that I ever had to do, because I actually had to measure in time and put ingredients. It was really hard. So I have to respect authors, number one, of writing and journaling and putting everything down. The two thing about why did I do the cookbook? It's not just a cookbook. Number one, it is a lifestyle book. And I wanted to always, of course, implement family recipes. Some of the recipes that I grew up on. I wanted to make something that represented me. And a lot of people don't know, I was in fashion, and degree was in fashion merchandising and in design. So I wanted to incorporate food and fashion. So you'll see a lot of fashion in the book. You'll see a lot of food in the book. You'll see my 5 beautiful girls in the book. You'll see how I got started in the book. I didn't want it to just make a cookbook with just food and pictures. I wanted it to actually represent my brand. And I wanted people to get to know me. I wanted people to know who Kelli was, because for a long time, I did not tell people I was the owner of Nana's Chicken and Waffles. I just worked here.
No, why did you tell people you're the owner?
You know, it's hard. It's hard when you have to deal with they always used to think, I'm just gonna be honest, a little black girl on the restaurant. She ain't the owner of this restaurant. I am the owner of this restaurant. I put all my heart and soul in this restaurant. But people judge you, and I didn't want people to judge me. I didn't want, I was very hesitant about being the owner of Nana's Chicken and Waffles. For a long time, I just worked here. So it's not until probably maybe a year ago that I let people know who I was.
Interesting. Wow. That's fascinating. That's, I'll tell you what, this is.
Well, do you know the owner of Popeyes?
Well, I want to ask y'all guys, a lot of y'all thought that the owner of Popeyes was that black lady. You know what I'm talking about? The lady who's like, my chicken and my recipe.
Right.
Let me see. Let me find her. Let me find the black lady. Because it's hilarious. Like you know what I'm talking about, Kelly, when they had that.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely.
People are like, who the fuck is that? Like this lady, like is she the CEO? Because she keeps using the word my. She keeps saying my recipe, my chicken, my this, my that. And I was like, can you do that? Can you just take a black person off the street and just, excuse my French, I didn't mean to, but yeah, I think you said hell or damn or something earlier. So
it's all right. I think everybody's grown on here.
Yeah, that lady right there. That lady,
yes.
Somebody needs to go find
Annie,
her.
I thought Annie was the owner of Popeyes too.
Yes. And it's not Annie. It's not.
Annie is not the owner of Popeyes.
Yeah, the CEO is some dude. And wow. And so that's the last thing I'm gonna ask you about then. Tell me this. I spoke a lot about Nana's Chicken and Waffles on my Instagram and whatnot. Yeah. During the Popeyes fiasco, which I mean, it was just kind of was a bad look for us. Not because we can't eat chicken. Chicken is good. It was just this idea that like we're all doing cartwheels and backflips and monkey dances over this company, right? How did you feel as a black business owner who makes chicken better than Popeyes? Because I've eaten at both places. How did you feel when you kind of saw this happening?
So for me, don't get me wrong, I like Popeyes chicken. I mean, my husband's from Louisiana, so we've always eaten Popeyes chicken every now and then. Of course, not better than my chicken, but I think it's it's pretty decent chicken. Let me tell you the thing that bothered me about the whole Popeyes fiasco. As a business owner, and I look at all of our reviews, I pay attention to everything that's written about us and what's online. And for me, I'm like, these people are wrapped around the building, waiting for hours and days. They are there before the store even opens. I mean, they're making all of these videos. And I mean, let's be clear, it's not like it's a top-notch service, fast food experience, right? But everybody's waiting because of probably one person that posted about Popeyes. And it's like, well, I'll get online and I'll see, oh my God, the wait time is ridiculous at Nana's Chicken and Waffles. We have to wait for 2 hours, or we have to wait for an hour and a half just to eat chicken and waffles. But y'all waited in line for 5 days for a chicken sandwich. And y'all ain't get Popeyes no 3 stars? Come on, y'all. That is ridiculous. So for me, I think that was the only thing that bothered me, right? Because mostly it was our people in the Popeyes line. But you'll come here and you'll say, well, that's why I don't like dining at black establishments and I don't like doing this. But y'all, let's be real, right? Like, let's be real. And sometimes, I mean, I have customers who wait all the time, and I appreciate that. I try and give them our all. I try and get customers in and out. I try and make sure that I can give them that extra oomph that they need while they are waiting, right? But it's like, y'all waited in line all this time for days and months at a time for a chicken sandwich. But if y'all got an hour wait here at Nana's, y'all giving us the business. That's what I couldn't get with. That's what I couldn't get with.
Well, let me tell you who the first person was that told me how great your food was. Michael Roberts, the billionaire out of St. Louis. Yeah, he
amazing.
He's a great guy, and he told me exactly what to order. He came on the channel. You guys remember him, Michael Roberts. Look him up. He's
he's amazing.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Yes. And being a billionaire is one thing, but I mean the fact that he's such a expansive human being in terms of really making himself available to the community. That's special.
Transparent. He's so transparent. So real. Yeah, great advice. I think we called him for some advice not too long ago.
Yeah, he's a great guy, and he told me all about your restaurant. That's what brought me out there. I will be back, and I want everybody to know before I let Miss Kelli go, I would like to give you guys websites and information so you can look up her work. It's very, very good. Her book is called Cooking with Kelli. I went through the whole book. That's everything spelled with a K. Kelli spelled Kelli. And the book, I went through it, and it's very well done, very tastefully done. When I saw the book, I said, okay, if she's not a star already, she's going to be a star. So you don't know. I'm trying to get in good with the family because I know they're going to blow it. Beyonce and Jay-Z, her and her husband. So
stop it. I'm just me. I don't care. Whatever God wants me to be, you'll still see me in here working. Okay. Yes.
All right. I love it. And also the website for the restaurant is nanaschickenandwaffles.com. So if you go down to the Atlanta area, you got to check out the food. It's very, very good. Everybody, do me this favor as well. Before we head out, hit the thumbs up button, share and subscribe button. Also, don't forget, All Black National Convention is happening the weekend of September 27th. I will invite you and Mark for the next convention, actually.
Yeah, we're there.
Yeah, we met a little bit late this time, but for next year, I want to get on your calendar because I'd love to have you all there to tell your story. And if you want to get passes or tickets, guys, it's going to be in Houston the weekend of September 27th. allblacknationalconvention.com. That's allblacknationalconvention.com. If you want to catch it via live stream, you can go to allblackeducation.com. That's allblackeducation.com. That's our digital subscription service that has educational content for the entire family, including all the previous All Black National Conventions, as well as a bunch of stuff like the thing I did with Farrakhan and everything else. It's all in there for you and your family to learn from and grow from and build from. So I want to say thank you very much to our guests, Miss Kelli Ferrell.
Thank you so much. This is awesome. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's great to have you, and we will have you back in the future for sure at your convenience. And I know you've got a lot of customers waiting for you. And when I was there, the restaurant was pretty packed. And so I know you guys have other things to do. And I'm going to go take my nap. And so just to remind everybody, by the way, don't forget about blackenough.com. We created our own version of Facebook. This is a Black-owned company, a Black-owned brand. I have the trademark papers in my desk. Yes, blackenough.com. This is how you spell it. So go join Black Enough. If you're Black enough, join Black Enough. We're having all Black conversations all day long, and you won't ever get banned like you do from Facebook when you're too Black. So that's why we created it, because we got to build our own, just like Nana's Chicken and Waffles. So thank you. Yes, it was a pleasure having you. All right, take care, and everybody have a good day. See you soon. Bye-bye.